Quinten Lee in the middle of the ring.
And Gotti was by his side the whole time. You got to admit it. Gotti even went so far. Quinten Lee tried to jump in the ring and take a cheap shot at Mike Desire. And originally, I thought Gotti was trying to take a cheap shot himself at Michael. But Gotti explained to me earlier tonight he actually had Mike Desire's back and was prepared to strike Quinten Lee if he stepped into that ring.
Quinten Lee, of course, after being defeated, called out the face of the executive committee, Jackson Breeze, pulled out a minor technicality, a loophole saying the match did not take place on TV, therefore the HWA television title could not change hands, much to the disappointment of the fans, much to the disappointment of Mike Desire. Mike Desire, as a result, gets his second chance tonight to try and capture HWA's television title with Gotti waiting in the wings.
All right, and Gotti has a ringside seat and looking on in this match.
Well, this match is all on the up and up. The title is on the line. Remember, the title cannot exchange hands on a DQ or a countout, but if Mike Desire can pin the smartest man in HWA, Mike Desire will walk out of here the TV champion.
High IQ Quinten Lee definitely proved how smart he was at Ground Zero. Maybe not the most moral and honest man in the HWA, but definitely intelligent, using all loopholes he could to hold on to that title.
I don't think a rule is a loophole, though, is it?
It seemed very cheap to me. Jackson Breeze was right. A rule is a rule. We all have to accept it.
I guess called the TV belt for a reason.
Very good point there, Isaac. I can't argue with that. I guess I was just too emotionally involved in the match. I like seeing this young kid, Mike Desire.
You need to call these right down the middle hooks.
You're right. You're right. I'm a broadcast journalist. I need to keep focused.
All right. Well, Joe Copez.
Take a cue from Mike Ripple here. He always calls it right down the middle.
At least I try. In any event, Joe Copez refereeing this matchup for the HWA TV Championship. Oh! Quinten Lee with an arm drag.
Very smart move by Quinten Lee.
A little early in the match for gloating.
And Mike Desire with collar and elbow tie-up on Quinten Lee. Again, the arm drag.
The man's not TV champ for nothing.
Quinten Lee, of course, has defended that belt against every opponent who came up against him, successfully defended. He's had a long reign as TV champion.
Of course, the elbow pad has come into effect in a few matches here and there.
Well, I wondered, was his elbow itching? I saw him scratching it a little earlier.
I don't know.
I don't think that elbow's ever been injured, quite frankly.
And Mike Desire is on fire. Quinten Lee goes to the outside.
Well, Mike definitely not going to grab anything if he tries to pull Quinten back in the ring by his hair.
Looks like somebody's already pulled most of it out to begin with.
If there's one weakness Quinten Lee has, he lets the crowd get under his skin.
For such an intelligent guy, he really does pay too much heed to what the fans say. They know just how to get under his skin.
I concur.
Oh, wait a minute. Now Quinten Lee rolls out again. I think what Quinten Lee is doing, he's playing mind games with Mike Desire.
Quinten Lee also knows that as long as he stays outside the ring, he cannot lose that TV title.
Quinten Lee now back into the ring.
Quinten Lee's so smart, a lot of times one step ahead of us. We don't know what the strategy this guy has, but you can't argue with the fact that he has a lot of victories underneath his belt.
Quinten Lee now with the advantage. Takes Mike Desire down.
Well, Quinten Lee definitely has the size advantage here in this matchup. Mike Desire, I think, wants to speed the pace of this one up if he can.
It's a very key factor in Quinten Lee's match tonight. He has to keep Mike Desire grounded.
Has him in that headlock. And in the center of the ring.
Wasn't Mike Desire a former fantasy camp student here at HWA?
Absolutely. Last year's fantasy camp in the year 2000, Mike Desire attended 1 year later, getting his second shot at HWA Gold.
And speaking of fantasy camp, the next one is March the 6th, so be sure to check that out, fans, on HWAonline.com. And, of course, we'll be at the Red Barn that night in Batavia, Ohio.
Come to that fantasy camp. Maybe you could be the next Mike Desire.
Quinten Lee now with the advantage. Oh, drop toe hold sends Quinten Lee down. Desire follows up with a drop kick and another.
Well, a couple strong drop kicks by Mike Desire, but he seems to be favoring that left leg. Quinten's taking something out of that here tonight.
Quinten Lee now to the outside. And meanwhile, you see Gotti looking on. He's in the front row.
Well, Joe Kopez up to 5. Mike Desire needs to pull Quinten back in the ring. What's to stop him from just getting counted out?
So far, Gotti staying true to his word, sitting in the front row amongst the fans, just observing the match, not getting directly involved.
Well, he said he wouldn't. He's a man of his word.
So far. So far.
What do you mean so far?
I'm just saying, I've seen a lot out of Gotti over the last couple of years.
Are you worried about Gotti interfering in this match?
I got to admit that I am. I've seen Gotti. He's a tremendous competitor, but
knowing his background.
Exactly. Thank you,
Gotti
Mike.
wants a shot next week. He's just here to observe.
There's a kick right to the midsection by Mike Desire. Quinten Lee trapped in the corner. Irish whip. Desire now in the corner. Look out. Mike Desire off of the second rope.
Back elbow. Put in the forearms to Quinten Lee. Backs him up against the ropes. Irish whip across the ring. Quinten Lee over Mike Desire. Leapfrog. Spin kick to the head of Quinten Lee. And once again, Quinten Lee takes a powder and hits the floor, trying to regain his composure.
Smart move by Quinten Lee after that spinning heel kick by Mike Desire. Come outside, regroup. I mean, he's got a 10 count. He's got the TV belt.
Oh, look at that! Mike Desire going after him!
He just leveled Quinten Lee.
That strategy backfired on Quinten that time.
I think Mike Desire could hear the commentary or something. Flying cross body block by Mike Desire to Quinten on the outside.
Mike Desire needs to be careful. As we mentioned many times, you can't win on the outside. He breaks the count, adding more punishment to Quinten Lee, chopping him against the guardrail right in front of our fans.
Throws him back into the ring.
Desire taking the fight now to Quinten Lee as he needs to if he wants to win this match tonight.
Oh! And the pendulum just swung into the other direction.
There it is. Quinten will trick you.
Quinten's intelligence paying off. He keeps a sharp eye on his opponent at all times. Caught Mike Desire in midair, brought him face first into the canvas.
He let Mike think he was getting the upper hand for just a moment. Mike got a little cocky, went for one too many high-risk maneuvers.
Definitely a rookie mistake on the part of Mike Desire.
Desire now. In the corner, Quinten Lee just taking full advantage.
Quinten Lee back in the ring, slowing down this offense, bringing it down more to his pace. He's in control now. Snapmare takes Mike Desire over.
Oh,
kick to the back. He might have snapped all his vertebrae and kicked his lungs right out of his chest.
Well, I see Joe Kopez forgot his glasses again tonight. I hope that doesn't come into play here in the main event.
Joe Kopez, not one of the favorites of Isaac Eastwood.
And you can hear the crowd here in the HWA Arena getting behind Mike Desire.
I think Mike Desire might be on his way to dreamland here from that reverse chinlock applied by Quinten Lee. Maybe not.
Mike Desire back up on his feet. Couple elbow shots. Off of the second rope. Only gets a 2 count.
Another high-risk maneuver almost paid off for this youngster. Meets a clothesline from Quinten Lee.
Well, it looks like Quinten's done enough damage in the early part of this matchup. Desire still favoring that leg. Doesn't look well for Mike.
Desire showing a lot of heart. He's working hard, but Quinten Lee always seems to be one step ahead of him.
Well, Quinten Lee definitely, of course, has the experience factor in this match tonight. I think Mike might have bit off a little bit more than he can chew. I don't know if he's ready for a match of this magnitude.
I have to disagree after seeing him actually pin Quinten Lee Friday night. Maybe it was a fluke, maybe it wasn't. We'll soon find out.
Nice body slam.
There's the $1 million punch, a trademark move by Quinten Lee.
The big fist drop.
Hooks the leg, only gets 2.
And the fans rally behind Mike Desire. They want to see him beat Quinten Lee for this HWA television title. Quinten Lee doing everything he can to stop the onslaught. Drives the knee into the face of Mike Desire.
I don't know what it is the fans have against Quinten Lee.
I think it's because Quinten Lee has an arrogance about him and tends to hold himself above the fans and everybody else in the HWA, including us.
Do you think it's possible that the fans don't like Quinten Lee just because he's smarter than they are?
I don't think that's the issue.
It's possible. It's a possibility, Mike. You got to admit it.
Mike Desire now back up on his feet. Irish whip. Reversal sends Quinten Lee to the ropes. Roll up. Oh, what a drop kick by Mike Desire.
Well, I will admit, this Mike Desire has hell of heart.
Quinten Lee now up on his feet.
Both
nice
men staggering.
Desire now building up steam. Sends Quinten Lee in the corner.
All the way across town, Quinten chest first into the turnbuckle, into a back suplex.
Mike Desire, Irish whip on Quinten Lee. Nice back body drop.
Well,
Quinten Lee now in the corner.
Quinten Lee had pretty much dismantled the entire cruiserweight division. That's why we expanded this belt to include a television title. He can wrestle anyone now. So for Mike Desire to be holding his own for this long in a match is impressive on its own.
Quinten Lee going for the fisherman suplex. 1, 2. Mike Desire kicks out. Not many men have kicked out of that maneuver.
Oh, and I tell you, that got Gotti on his feet.
Well, so far, Gotti just watching as he said he would.
Covered by Desire. Only 2.
Now, this is where it has to get frustrating to a new guy like Mike Desire. Won the match Friday night, has a real shot tonight, but can only get another 2 count.
He's tasted that victory, and he wants to taste it again. It's got to be so frustrating to have it just out of your reach.
I still think that injured leg might come into play here. Doesn't look good for Mike Desire with that leg.
He's having a lot of trouble moving around the ring. Quinten Lee with a vicious club to the back.
Now, Quinten Lee's the type of guy, he'll see that weakness and he'll expose it for all it's worth.
Look at this, high-risk maneuver. They're going to do... Oh! And Lopez goes out.
Joe Lopez goes down as well as Quinten Lee. Mike Desire pinning Quinten Lee. No one to make the count.
Well, it's lucky Joe Lopez did forget his glasses, I guess, because if not, he might have just lost his eyesight on that one.
Joe Lopez is out cold.
Now, Quinten Lee's going to get a pin here, it looks like, and there's no referee.
Facebuster by Quinten Lee. This one will be over were Joe Lopez awake. That was a 3 count. Joe Lopez motionless in the center of the ring. Hey! I told you, Gotti slides into the ring.
Gotti comes into the ring. Mike Desire doesn't even see it, throws Mike on top, and now Lopez being resuscitated.
Lopez more alert, makes the 1 count, the 2. And that's it!
He got him!
A cheap victory by Mike Desire. Looks like we've got a new television champion tonight with the help of outside interference.
Cheap or otherwise, it's a victory. No loopholes, no executive decisions.
And it is on TV.
No hidden rules.
Is Mike Desire the newest member of the militia?
Mike Desire, regardless of what you say, what anyone says, Mike Desire, the new HWA television champion, 1 year after completing the HWA fantasy camp, he works his way up. He is now the HWA television champion.
And Quinten Lee can't believe what just happened.
Well, if I was Quinten Lee, I wouldn't be able to believe it either. I appreciate a good match as much as the next wrestling fan, but Mike Desire obviously cheated. When Quinten Lee sees the tape of this one, I have a feeling he's not going to be pleased.
And Gotti has the mic.